Hello and welcome to my energy update for Monday, June the 19th. We have a spectacular energy today, so I wanted to go over some of the things to be aware of, things to pay attention to, and what really is here energetically for us today and what that actually means, how we are meant to really show up or use this energy to our advantage. I'll be mentioning a few of those things, and I'm going to just talk briefly about human design for a moment. And for those of you that don't know what human design is, it's basically it's based on the same principles as astrology. So you're looking at the time, the date, and the exact location of birth. So that's all within human design, like astrology. But in addition to that, it also encompasses it doesn't only map out where the planets are or where they were in the sky at the time that you were born, but it's also identifying your dominant chakras. So what main energy centers within you are active or most dominant in this lifetime, which is going to create this like personal body graph. So I have my own personal body graph that I have, and that indicates all the different energetics basically of me as a person, as an individual, and how that relates to myself and how that relates to the collective. So human design, it just goes kind of one step further in the sense that we're also looking at dominant energy, aura, energy lines within the system as well, not just the date, time, and place of birth. So what does today's energy really have to do with? Well, I'm going to say this is probably one of the luckiest days of this year. That is the potency and the energy of today. It is very, very expansive, very beautiful, with a lot of love. So we have, I'm going to be talking about some gates in a moment. The sun is in gate 15 and the earth is in gate 10. So what does that mean? There's those two gates are actually two of the four love gates that exist in the human design structure. And so two of those gates being activated today of the four is really, really special. It's actually a big deal. It's a very, like I said, expansive energy. And today is definitely a day for love, for expressing love, for embodying love, and for really deeply understanding the principles of love. So gate 15, is kind of like the aura or the pulse of the collective. And gate 10 is love of self and behavior. So how we show up on a daily basis is continuously influencing the collective. This isn't just about us, and it's not just influencing our life, but so it's like we have our individual auras, and then we also have a collective aura. What does that mean? A collective aura is literally the energy field of humanity. Okay, so if we consider humanity like the ocean, and I am one drop in that ocean, and you are another drop in that ocean, right? So, but collectively, we make up one big ocean, which has a life of its own, right? It has a mechanism to it in the way that it works. So today's energy is really, really highlighting or opening our eyes to the collective behavior and is asking us to look at how we show up, because how you show up for yourself is really impacting other people. And that's what needs to be understood today. So every choice that you make, every interaction, every action you take influences literally everyone, not just people in your immediate circle and not just like immediate family or friends, but literally all of humanity. Because as we collectively move through this ascension at this time, we're all influencing the ascension process, right? And we're influencing it with our own energy, because you are like a beacon, right? We're all little beacons, little radio stations, if you will, and we're also antennas, if you will. So we're simultaneously broadcasting a frequency while also receiving and picking up a frequency. But what are you broadcasting and what are you picking up? That's kind of what needs to be looked at today. And there has to be like this understanding of how much, like I said, we influence other people. So, what you do to yourself is what you're actually doing to someone else. So if you're hurting yourself, you're hurting someone else in the process. Whether you're aware of that or not, you're doing it. It's happening. Um, and of course, your thoughts and your feelings are going to greatly impact the vibration that you're putting out, because your thoughts and your feelings are the primary energy that you use to communicate with the world, right? So it's today is there's just this really powerful message that I was receiving this morning about finding balance, and like the importance of finding balance and bringing things back into balance and bringing things back into harmony. So I was already looking at my life this morning, like certain aspects or things of where I could use more balance or could apply more balance. And I mentioned in a lot of my previous videos that overthinking has always been an issue for me. So what I have to continuously work on, and what I do continuously work on, is balancing that. Actually, it's something that has been, years in the making, but it's a continuous process. And the more I'm able to catch it and pay attention to it, the more I'm able to regulate it and harmonize it and bring it back into balance. So think about yourself for a moment, and whether you're overthinking or not, or whether you're that type of a person. And, what are those dominant thoughts when you're overthinking? Because overthinking is exactly that. It's an excess of something, right? It's like you're doing it too much. You're in the head too much, and you're not in the heart space enough. And that is the balance that needs to be brought back. That is the harmonization that you are needing at this time in order to find balance within yourself. So overthinkers are up in their head way too much, and they're not in their heart space. And like I said, for me personally, it's something that I've worked on for years and years and years. And now, because I'm actually pretty heart chakra dominant anyway, so my heart center is very open. Because of that, it is definitely something that I'm thankfully able to balance for the most part. But there are times, of course, when it runs away with me. So pay attention to that and make sure that you're really not overthinking today. Today is all about being in the heart space. It is all about getting into those feelings and feeling really deeply, and allowing yourself to feel deeply, and allowing yourself to validate your own emotions and be accepting and understanding of them. So today's love gates open are saying to us, when we love who we are, we can see that though we are not perfect, we still have our own inherent value, beauty, and worth, and that we deserve love. So that is the message. I'm going to read that again so that it can sink in. Today's message is that when we love who we are, we can see that though we are not perfect, we still have our own inherent value, beauty, and worth, and we deserve love. And I have to remind myself sometimes of that, even though I am at this point really quite good at my self-care routine. Like I've really figured out so much within myself in the last 2-3 years of when my ascension really took like a peak, and it really went crazy and just kind of blew me open. It definitely has taught me how to be more loving and kind with myself, and to recognize my own inner beauty and outer beauty, even if I wasn't perfect, and even if I didn't have, everything in this illusionary way that I think it should be. Because it's all about coming back into your heart space and not judging yourself for your imperfections, but rather seeing those imperfections as normal. It's normal because we all have them. Every single person on this planet has imperfections. We are all experiencing duality here on this planet. So we can't sit there and be hard on ourselves. And society and social media can really push us into believing that we're not good enough, because there's this constant comparison going on. I hate comparison and I hate competitiveness. Those two things are just awful, awful energies, because they really bring out the worst in us, not the best in us, actually. Believe it or not. And even with competition, like it's really, just look at nature. Do you see birds competing? Do they race each other? Like, I don't think so. They might do stuff like that for fun, but not as a, well, I'm better than you, or I'm going to beat you, even though nature inherently has encoded within it this beautiful process of elimination where it eliminates, things that are weaker, right? So it's like the weaker animals, the sick animals always die or they get eaten, right? Why is that? That's just sort of a natural process of elimination. It's to keep our species strong and viable. But within humanity, we're a bit different in the sense that we are conscious beings who have choice, right? So we can support the weak and we can nurture the sick back to health. We don't allow them to die like nature does, right? But it's a different process. So you have to check in with yourself of where you are when it comes to your own self-love and self-worth and where you see yourself. Because it all connects, like everything connects and we're all connected to each other. So, and love always begins with us, right? It's always, and I've mentioned this so many times in previous videos, like everything always begins with you. If you can't love yourself, then how can you expect someone else to love you? Or how can you truly love others? Like how? If you don't have the energy and the quality of love within yourself calibrated to such a high frequency where it's normal, it's natural, and it feels good, and it feels flowing and delicious and expansive. Like if you, because these are all energies that are part of love, and if you can't cultivate that energy within yourself, then you're going to have a really difficult time to give that to somebody else or to receive that actually from others. Because remember what I said in the beginning of this video is that we are all like frequency energy beings, and you're an antenna. So it's like you're constantly broadcasting, your energy signature. And if your energy signature isn't one that is saying that I'm awesome and I'm wonderful and I'm loving myself, just as I am, even if I'm not perfect and even if I don't have everything, 100% figured out. Like if that's the energy that you're broadcasting out into the world, then guess what? The world is going to broadcast that back to you, mirror that back to you through different actions, different things coming together for you, and meeting the right people, being at the right place at the right time, connecting with the right people. Like all of these things can come together for you. So we must choose wisely, really, really choose wisely. And we must recognize how incredibly important and why it is important for us to love ourselves really and truly and honestly. So when we carry this love energy within us, it is, like I said, naturally it is naturally the energy that our aura emits. So you're influencing the collective. Remember, I mentioned that as well. We are all influencing the collective. What you broadcast out is being added to the frequencies that are also being broadcast out by other people based on their thoughts and their feelings about themselves. So this is how we have a collective aura or energy field as humanity. It's also going to influence how others see you, how others, it's literally how others view you and see you and how they perceive you, what impressions they get from you or off of you, right? When they first meet you. There's really something to be said for first impressions mean something, right? They really do. Why? Because when you first encounter somebody or meet somebody, the very first thing you're actually picking up on subconsciously, whether you're aware or not, is their energy. That's the very first thing. It's not even necessarily what they're saying. They could say absolutely nothing, or they could do absolutely nothing. I can look at a person, say at an airport, for example, and I love people watching. I absolutely love people watching because I can pick up on it very easily how, if an individual is loving on themselves or not, whether they feel good within their body, within their mind, within their heart and soul or not. It's a frequency that they're emitting. And being a sensitive person, I can pick up on that frequency very quickly. And I can immediately feel whether they are actually loving and kind to themselves or not. And they don't have to say anything. They don't have to do anything. They could just sit there. And that goes for all of us. We're all that way. We all, even if you're not sensitive necessarily, you're all subtly picking up on other people's energies, right? and you're perceiving them based off of that. So this energy can change the world, okay? Because people who love who they are automatically raise the collective aura. So this is truly world-changing energy. And I've been talking about self-love for quite some time on my channel now. I've made lots of videos about it, and I've extensively shared my personal journey of going through, learning how to love myself and all the different issues that I went through and problems that I went through in my life, that broke that down within me that I didn't know how to, initially build back up. But over the years and through my ascension process, I've finally learned and I finally understood what it truly means to love myself again and to not look necessarily to others to fill my cup. So I'm learning to fill my own cup, and we're always a work in progress. All of us are, but it's something that I've become significantly more comfortable with now, because I have practiced it. So if you're someone that struggles with loving yourself and you don't quite know how to love yourself, or if you're just not able to see those beautiful qualities within yourself because you keep choosing to focus on the qualities that you don't like about yourself, then I'm really going to encourage you to write down perhaps 3 things, just 3 things every single morning that you love about yourself. It's like use little tools to help you build that self-love muscle, to help you rebuild that self-confidence when it comes to seeing your worth and your value, your beauty, your authenticity, because it's really important. This is world changing energy. Like, we really have an opportunity to shift the collective. The more of us do this, the more of us will elevate the collective, and the more that we actually tip the scales, which we already are tipping the scales, thankfully, to humanity really experiencing the golden age, and for us to really have this wonderful future in front of us rather than one that is dark and bleak. Even though right now in our external world, when you look out, it looks a little off, right? There's quite a bit off, and there's a lot of things that are happening, but that isn't what we should be focusing on. It is our own inherent love, and learning to love ourselves is what we should be focusing on. That's what changes the world. So this is really important today. So taking actually some time out today to meditate, to tune in, to really love yourself, to really look at, like I said, right? If you have more, write more than 3 things down then about yourself, what you love about yourself. Let's tip the scales. Let's do this together. We can. It really is just up to us and where we focus our energy and our time. And I've made videos about that, right? Why our focus is so incredibly important, and where you direct your attention. Do you keep looking for the things that are wrong with you, instead of focusing on all the wonderful things that are right with you? I think the other one feels better. So love is about being given space to do and be who you authentically are. And that is now how I measure love, is do people in my direct environment, does my family give me space to be who I am? And giving space in the sense of, like, do they allow me to just be who I am, or do they want to control who I am? And in the past, there was a lot of control. They were trying to control. And as a matter of fact, I had certain family members that were controlling that. But now I've shifted out of that. So no one gets to control that for me anymore. And that's a really liberating, beautiful feeling that I didn't have for a long time. So today's mantra is going to be know thyself. If you love who you are authentically, and you know yourself on a deep, deep level, you are going to absolutely create such a beautiful life for yourself, such an expansive, loving, joyful, beautiful, delicious. I love using that word, delicious life for yourself, because it really is delicious when we are living, breathing, experiencing all of the love and wonderfulness that we can have in our lives, because we choose to focus on that, because that's where we channel our energy. right? I think that's such a beautiful thing. And we always have that choice every single day. But today in particular, like I said, go buy a lottery ticket, go make that phone call, go apply for that job, go do whatever it is you need to do that you know you have wanted to do, that you know is authentic, that is real. Do that thing that feels like, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I deserve this. I deserve this opportunity, right? So do it for that reason. And it's funny that my throat chakra actually, yeah, okay. So, do it for that reason. You're not going to regret it. You're just not. It's going to give you at least an answer. It's going to at least give you a sense of direction, right? And when you get your answer, if it's a job that you're applying for, or if it's a conversation that you need to have, like if you go and you do that, you're going to get some kind of an answer, and that answer is either going to be a yes or no, and you will also have an opportunity again to respond to that yes or to that no, right? So the processing and how you choose to feel about and think about things is important, because even if it's a no, then rejection is God's protection. That's what I always say. And it could be just a timing thing, and it could just be, perhaps something that is unforeseen, and you don't know that maybe the job that you really, really want, that you apply for could be toxic. So that's okay too. This is not about expectation. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to encourage you today to release expectation, but really just let yourself go for it. Really let yourself go for it. I know there's a couple of things I'm going to do, and I'm 100% going to go and take care of a few things, and really just allow myself to go with that flow and to believe in the things that I'm going to go for today, that they're going to work out for me. I'm just going to trust. And I encourage you to also trust spirit and trust spirit's guidance. And if you feel like you've been receiving messages about something, like I said, if you feel like you've been getting messages or different hints or whatever from the universe to like go apply for that job, or go make that phone call, or go talk to that person, then it's time that you listen to those signs, because those signs and synchronicities will keep showing up until you take action. And sometimes, and actually with today's energy, and just because there's a lot going on in June astrologically, there are windows, excuse me, there are windows when certain things are just the right time to take action. And then there are times when it's not the best time to take action. So right now, with today's energy, it is one of those days, it is one of those energies where it is the right time to take action for sure. So, but tune in, go within, meditate, think about it, feel it over, and then take action if you feel compelled to and called to. Remember, guys, the most important thing is that you're authentic. The very, very most important thing is that you're listening to your intuition. So authenticity and intuition are 100% connected. If you're tuned into yourself and you trust yourself and you love yourself, you're going to know exactly what to do. So I will leave you with that message. Thank you so much for watching and for tuning in. I wish all of you an amazing, amazing June 19th. Like I said, this is it's like lucky energy, like stars are aligned kind of energy. It's a very beautiful energy today. So tune into this energy. And like I said, don't be afraid to take action on those things that you are really, especially if you're feeling compelled, and especially if you're feeling excited about it, go for it. It is going to yield wonderful results. Even if you think it might not, just go for it and you will see. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I wish you guys a beautiful day.